We have crews from across Summit County out here right now. This is the collapsed section of that large conference room. The last 48 hours, well, at times it was a bit scary up here with winds that I've never seen before, and I've lived in Colorado my whole life. A lot of people just pulling over to the side of the road. Yep, it's happening now. I should have brought my umbrella today. It was a bighorn sheep that actually saw his reflection in a window in that home and was able to shatter his way through. When those temperatures start to fall, this is all going to be black ice, and that is a big concern. This crew was working all night long fighting the flames. They're using these giant buckets filled with water to dump on the flames. This is the scene right now at this Alpine Bank branch. You can see the crime tape is still up. And across town, you'll see these "Thank you, Deputy Derek Gear" signs. But a lot of confusion on board this flight this morning when that air emergency was made. Ford track officials allowed competition to begin again today. They came out here and checked this course. Been piling up the snow here, trying to get it out of the roads. But I want to show you just how deep this powder is. Take a look over my shoulder here. You can see I-70, and what they've really been able to do, it's amazing. When CDOT does avalanche mitigation, they're never sure how much snow is going to come off the mountain. Today, 20-foot deep drifts, 300 yards. A lot of snow that they have to then remove off this road.
Matt, we just got an update on that investigation.
Kelly, crews with the hospital tell us that both people who survived that crash have been taken to Denver area hospitals because of their injuries. Tonight, the entire hillside where the crash happened is roped off. Police are not letting anyone in as they await FAA investigators who are on their way from Denver, stuck in traffic right now. We spoke to eyewitnesses who raced to the scene moments after that crash.
We heard the helicopter take off. It started to spin uncontrollably, then crashed. Big explosion.
What was a family bike ride quickly turned into a life and death situation, and Jason reacted in the only way he knew how. He ran toward the burning helicopter to help.
As I climbed the hill, could see that there was the helicopter that actually had crashed into an RV, and both were on fire. So there was a pilot with the windshield already busted out, trying to get out.
Two more people remained inside, the helicopter on fire, and everyone fearing another explosion.
It was all relatively quick, but we knew that we just had to get people away from that. Back out here live tonight, officials say no one can go anywhere close to that hospital unless they are working or need an emergency assistance. Right now, we are told that FAA investigators will be the lead on this investigation into the flight and what happened moments after takeoff here in the high country. A very sad start to the 4th of July weekend for a lot of people here in this small town.
New at 6, our Matt Kroschel live to explain what happened. Matt?
You know, Jim, it is a warning that all parents need to hear from a mother who has learned this the very horrible way, the loss of her son. She has found out that drugs that come through the mail that are bought online are the reason that young people across Colorado are dying at an alarming rate.
Still seems pretty surreal, you know, not to have him here, of course, and changed our lives completely.
Dylan was 21 years old in 2015 when his dad came home and found him dead, a victim of an overdose.
Well, the sheriff's department was up here on our son's call. They got a call down to, I think it was French Creek or somewhere, that another person had died from it. And Chris had gotten both of them the drugs and that they overdosed on.
For Dylan's mom, Chris, in a year and a half since his death, she's realized the growing problem is fueled by drugs obtained online and sent through the mail.
We didn't know a thing about the dark net, or still don't quite understand it, other than it's very easy for people to apparently get anything they want to off the dark net.
These are actual evidence photos from the dark web where drugs that killed Dylan and another young man were purchased. Chris Malcolm is accused of buying the drugs and selling them to both men, who then overdosed.
We don't know if he knew there was fentanyl in it or not. It's pretty popular now, I guess, to lace it with fentanyl.
The same year Dylan died, 6 other drug overdose deaths were reported in Summit County alone. Across the state, hundreds of people have died.
We had no idea you could get it on the internet and that it was so easy.
A mother's mission to make sure other parents don't ever experience what they have gone through. CBS 4 has learned that suspect Chris Malcolm will go before a judge under a plea deal next month. He's expected to serve a couple of years in prison for his crimes. Reporting live in Summit County, Matt Kroschel, CBS 4 Mountain Newsroom.
From labs
Don't forget to belts at the bottom and the belts at the top.
to border collies,
Load up, take your time.
these highly trained canines and their handlers are preparing themselves for a job that takes both skill and guts.
Our main objective is to help be able to offer rapid response in a backcountry emergency.
Since every second counts when someone is buried in heavy snow, the teams must train with the Flight for Life crews that will take them to the avalanche. In this exercise, our CBS 4 cameras were allowed on board for the training mission.
Very seasoned dogs here, as well as 9-month-old pups that are getting used to the helicopter. And getting 15 trips in a day is a great way to get them used to the effects of the helicopter when you're loading and unloading.
This is the first time these teams have trained like this before snow is actually on the ground.
We decided that preseason was a great time to hold a training. We all have time to do a little more training before we get busy in the winter.
More reps for the dogs and their handlers as they gear up for what will undoubtedly be a busy winter season ahead.
It was an awesome day to fly.